Hey everybody, welcome to World History. This is going to be our last section of notes for this chapter. So, in terms of what we're going to do today, we have section 3, notes and quiz. I believe I have a video picked out for you, and you do have a reading activity you're going to do. And as a reminder, since this is the end of the chapter, your test will be next class. Once again, our learning objectives are going to be to identify countries who gained independence during this period and analyze the reasons why groups of people wanted to revolt against the European powers. So, for the final time in this chapter, get your notes out and let's get started. So, liberal ideas are eventually going to spread to Latin America. They're going to want to change that 300 years of Spanish rule that we established last semester. Social and ethnic structures had also caused a lot of resentment. So, if you remember in chapter 15, I talked about that triangle diagram with the structured hierarchy of society. Those structures are still in place. We have the Peninsulares, these are members of the high social class that dominated Latin America. Then you have the Creoles that are European descended Latin Americans who own the haciendas or ranches. They're going to resent their second class status. Then you have the mestizos who are of Native American and European descent, and the mulattoes of African and European descent, angry at being low social status. Native Americans were also extremely miserable under Spanish rule, and enslaved Africans worked on Caribbean plantations. So basically, this is like the prime spot for a revolution to start. People are not happy. And this is going to be one of those instances where we could see things get to a boiling point and boil over. The Enlightenment also inspires Latin America. Educated Creoles were heavily influenced by Enlightened thinkers. Along with the U.S. overthrowing a British rule and the Constitution, those are going to influence Latin America. The Creole Simon Bolivar, who you'll do a reading on today, was also inspired by the French Revolution and ideals of liberty. Now, we've gone back in time a little bit, so this is when Napoleon Bonaparte was still in power. He invades Spain, which sparks widespread rebellion in Latin America because they saw Spain's weakness as an opportunity to reject foreign domination and demand independence because Spain is busy fighting Napoleon. They could get in there and be like, we can do this now because they're not paying attention to us. So, looking at Haiti, revolutions are going to erupt in the French ruled colony of Haiti. 500,000 slaves worked on sugar plantations and they were overworked and starved. One of the main figures we have to talk about is Toussaint Louverture, who leads a slave revolt in Haiti. He was a self-educated ex-slave, a brilliant general, and commander. The revolt took more lives than any other revolution in the Americas, but Toussaint and his rebels won. Slavery was ended, and they controlled most of the island of Haiti. Eventually, Napoleon's like, what you think you're doing? You can't get out of here. So in 1802, Toussaint and his troops fight Napoleon's troops, but disease that afflicted the French troops forced them to surrender. And in 1804, Haiti was declared independent, and in 1820, Haiti becomes its own republic. Moving on to Mexico, and we'll talk a little bit more about Mexico in a couple chapters. Creole priest Father Miguel Hidalgo wanted more freedom, so he cries out for freedom and gives a speech known as the El Grito de Dolores to encourage Mexicans to fight for freedom. The Creoles heavily rejected Hidalgo's ideas, though. But Jose Morelos continues the fight. He was a priest who wanted social and political reform. He will be stopped by Spanish forces, but it begins that process of Mexico getting to the point of independence. So, as I said, they're going to eventually win independence under the leadership of Augustin de Iturbide, who leads the Creoles, and others to revolt against the Spanish viceroy. Mexico gains freedom, and Iturbide is made emperor. It's at this point new republics are starting to emerge in Central America. Iturbide tried to add areas to the Mexican Empire, but was overthrown, and then eventually separate republics are created known as the United Provinces of Central America. It's a whole time, I'm going to be honest. So moving further south to South America, Bolivar is going to begin the fight in the 1880s. Discontent among the Creoles eventually will spread across South America. Simon Bolivar wanted independence from Spain and conquered the Spanish there. He became known as the Liberator. Jose San Martin also joins the fight as well and helps Argentina win freedom from Spain. He's also going to join other areas to gain freedom. I found a typo I need to fix. This freedom also leads to a power struggle, and with that, 4 new countries will emerge: Colombia, Panama, Venezuela, and Ecuador. where power struggles among leaders are going to lead to civil wars, and we're still seeing some of that today. Eventually, we're also going to talk about Brazil gaining their independence. So Dom Pedro, the son of the King of Portugal, ruled in the time. Basically, this is the least bloody revolution we'll talk about. The people of Brazil were like, hey, we want to break away from Portugal. If we did, do you still want to be in charge? Well, he became emperor of Brazil and accepted the constitution. It's going to remain a monarchy until 1889, and Latin American nations will be independent but not democratic. That's the big thing to keep in mind, that they're not democratic. All right, that is it for notes for today. So, like I said, there's a Bolivar reading you're going to go do after the quiz. Make sure you get your review guides done and study for your test. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.